Hey guys, welcome again to the Scholar Online YouTube channel, the channel that is all about learning. Apology guys that didn't do a video last week, but as you know guys, life is very hectic, and so nowadays I think I'm gonna be maybe doing every 2 weeks, but there's definitely more than enough content to keep you going for 2 weeks because our videos are loaded, and this week's video is going to be just as loaded. We are picking up where we left off last week, where we are creating a landing page generator with OpenAI and Django. So the first part of that landing page generator is just to generate the landing page content, and then the second part is to get some templates that we're going to use to generate the actual landing page website. So if you're new to our channel guys, remember to like the video. Please, liking the videos helps our videos quite a bit. It helps, you know, get the videos in front of the right people. The YouTube algorithm sort of likes it when people like your videos, and it shows your video to more people. All right, and also remember to comment on the video that you're watching. If there's something that you want me to explain a bit more, just leave a comment there. All right, and I'll try and get back to all the comments as quick as I can. I don't always respond the same day or even same week, but I do respond to all the comments eventually. Even if it takes 2 to 3 weeks, I will get your comment. All right, so open up the description of the video you're watching. You'll see that show more button. Just press it and open it up, and you'll see more links. If you hear me say I'm gonna link it in the description below, that's where you're gonna find a link to whatever it is I'm linking. All right, and I also have video timestamps. That's really helpful so that you can just jump to the timestamp that you want. So there'll be a description next to the timestamp, and if you just click on it, it'll fast forward you to that part of the video, so you don't have to watch the entire video. You can just watch the sections that are relevant to you, and if you come back in the future as well, the timestamps are useful to just be able to navigate to the part of the video that you want to watch. All right, so I've got my social media, my email, and everything else as well inside of the description, so follow our social media and everything. So let's get learning. This video we are continuing where we left off, so hopefully by now you've got your Envato Element subscription, and you'll see the link, the 2 links to the templates we're going to be working with in the description. So make sure that you download those 2 templates. Even though I thought we'd get to it this week, no, we didn't get to it this week. What we did this week was actually very interesting. We took down our landing page and we broke it down into different data sections. So this is part of the planning of building the website generator, is that you have to understand the data structure of that landing page. What are the different variables that go into it? So we're gonna break down that landing page into the sections, into the variables, into that section, so that when we go to our OpenAI content generator, we know what part of the website we're generating. So we will also go through the prompts a little bit later in the video, covering how to do some of the prompts and the different variations of getting the prompt right, because we need to be able to get the prompt to give us specifically in the right content for this section and so forth. And then I'll give you a little bit of homework as well. So we're going to do things slightly different. I'm going to just demonstrate 1 or 2 ways of doing something here on the video, and then I'm going to let you go do the rest at home in your own time, because that's really how you learn. All right, you learn when you do things yourself, not when you copy and paste, because you're going to build that muscle memory and you're going to learn exactly how the coding and everything else works and what it means specifically. What does a code mean that you're writing or that you're copying? Okay, so let's get learning. Let's get started with this week's video, guys. We are in the process of trying to build a landing page generator using OpenAI and artificial intelligence. So if you watched last 2 weeks back video, you would have seen on the video description, I've got 2 links to the website templates that I want to use for this project. So if you click on both the links, you should be able to open up these 2 pages. If you don't have the links, just go back to the video that we did last week. It's this video over here. I will also link this in the description below. In the description of that video, there is at the bottom there is template 1 and template 2. Okay, so I think I kept it there last week so that you guys can go there if you wanna get your Envato memberships and buy the templates and all of that, because we're gonna need that going forward. So then open up those templates. So this will be template 1. What we'll be using template 1 for? Template 1 will be our landing page template. So our website will look like template 1. We're gonna try and build it into template 1. And then I've got template 2. Template 2 will be our first demo template that we're going to use to actually generate these landing pages. So when somebody comes in and they want to generate a landing page for whatever business that they are generating it for, we are going to use template 2 to generate that landing page. Okay, so just open up those two different pages over there. Then once you've done that, on landing page 2, what I've done is that I've just opened up if you click at the top there where it says live preview, okay, so you click on that button, it opens up this page with the different versions of the template with a live preview, so you can see exactly what the template looks like before you download it. So I've then clicked on home 1, which is the first example that I want to look at, and if you click on it, then it will open up this one. So this actually is hosted on Themes Brand, the guys who developed this template. It's just to show you what the website will look like if you actually download it, so you can make up your mind better. So I think I like what I see here. So I'm going to use this to structure the AI landing page template that I'm going to generate for people. So if I look at this here, so what I want to do is now I want you to put on 2 hats at the same time. I want you to put on your web design hat, but I want you to put on your engineering hat, because what we want to do is that we want to take this example and we want to engineer it into a template that can generate anything based on what somebody is inputting into the system. So if somebody comes here and they want to do they're a doctor and they want to do a landing page for their medical practice, for example, we want to be able to generate the content that would fit in here for a medical practice for that doctor. If somebody comes in here and they're a lawyer and they want to generate a template for a law firm, we want to be able to output the same type of template for a law firm or whatever, you know. So we want to be able to take this basic example of a web template and be able to split it into multiple variations based on what someone wants to build. Okay, so there are 2 types of variations we're going to look at when we come here. There is the variation, of course, of how the website actually looks, because if you look over here, you can see this one looks slightly different from that one, looks slightly different from that one. Let me open this one on another page. If you look at this one here, you see it doesn't have, this one has this image on the right and some other wording. This one has some other stuff. It's slightly different. So this is a variation in design. All right, it's a design variation of a landing page. So there are many design variations that you can do for a landing page. All right, and then that's the first type of variation. All right, then the next type of variation is within one type of landing page variation. Let's say you pick variation X, there can be different types of content that can fit into that variation. So let's say you've picked variation X, or you've picked home template. Within home template, you could have, you know, a different word here, a different title, different description. So you could have many many variations of that same one template, right? So if you think about it, there are many dimensions or variations here. So to simplify things, right? To simplify things as a start, and I think maybe we'll get to that later. As a start, I'm not going to try and build all these different types of landing page variations, right? Just to get something going, I'm gonna pick one variation and I'm gonna say, okay, everybody that comes to my website, I'm gonna just build this simple variation of a landing page as a start, and I will add on the other variations later. Okay, because of course you can't have a website where everybody's gonna have the same template when they leave, because then it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you know, there'll be nothing exciting about your website. Over time, you're gonna want to have even multiple variations like this of your template, and even variations in design, because these variations are on a CSS template that looks exactly the same. People might want something different. So there's many types that we're going to look at, but for now, to simplify things, just to start, we're going to pick one template, one type of a template, which is this one. And with this type of a template, which is this one over here, we're going to now try and create multiple variations of this template based on the business. which is exactly our end goal of what we want to achieve. So I want to say, if a person comes here and they're a doctor and they want to create a landing page template for a medical practice, for example, how would we vary this template to be able to have the content that is necessary, that is relevant to a medical practice? Somebody comes in here and they're a doctor. How do we vary this template to create a doctor template? All of those things is what we're going to focus on today. Later on, we'll think around, okay, this template fits more sort of like online web design type of businesses, but doctors have a different type. You know what I'm saying? So later we'll look at that, varying the template itself. But for now, we're going to work with just one template. Now, I've broken down this template into, because you have to think now like an engineer, right? This template looks like just a nice long web landing page template, right? But when you think about design, and now we are actually going into engineering, we are straddling the thin line between just being a web designer to being an actual web engineer, because we're not just designing, we're not just writing code, we are now actually building processes and designing. Because now we are saying, if I have a template like this, how could I make it such that it's flexible enough that you could just enter content and it will just build the website that you want? So now we are building, we are conceptualizing, and we are now going into the field of engineering. And lucky for you guys, my background is in engineering. So that kind of thing of designing processes and putting things together from nothing, that's what I'm good at. So you're in very good company, all right? So let's break this template down into its different components. What is this template made of? If you look over here, you can see there is a hero section, or this is the most important part of any landing page template. It's where people land on. The moment somebody opens your website is the first thing they see. They've got that very, the very first line they see, which is like your grabbing, tagline. That's what you see over there. And then there's like a tagline description. This is the most important part of a website. And then there's a little bit of an image to the left, which must, describe exactly what your business does. But more importantly, it should talk to the content that you have over here. Then if somebody decides to scroll down a little, of course there's always then that what we call taking action. And taking action can be multiple things. People can say this could be but for a landing page, we are going to assume that if somebody decides they're interested, perhaps it just takes them to a contact form and they can provide their information, and then you from there you will get a hold of them or whatever. So I'm going to simplify the entire landing page process and say the call to action, which is this button over here. The call to action will always be contact us or get in touch or something like that. So they click over here, it takes them all the way to the contact form, and they can complete their information, and that's going to be the end of our landing page. So I'm not building like a web portal where somebody can like log in and do stuff or do more, because then that is something we cannot standardize for all the businesses that exist. But if you want to standardize something very specific for landing pages, I think the most common thing, the most common call to action for a landing page would be to either collect information, their username, their names, their email and whatever, and we're gonna do that. When someone then clicks the call to action, we can take their information. All right, so that's the first section. So I've created a note, all right, so that we can keep track of what we're doing here. All right, so the section 1 of our landing page will be there will be a landing page title, and then there will be a landing page description. All right, there will be a call to action, but this is not important for now because this will always be the same call to action. It can be something like contact us, something like get in touch. We'll decide what it is at the end, but this call to action is always going to be the same for all the templates, so I'm not even too worried about it. Even if I don't include it now, it'll always be the same stuff. All right, so we've got the landing page title, the landing page description. That's the first stage. Let's continue to break down our template further. Then if we go down further on, you'll see there's now the section about us. All right, so about us is in a typical web page. Perhaps you want to talk about the things that you do, but even before about us, I actually want to, a lot of great templates have previous clients. All right, but I don't know if we'll be able to do this here because you know, for previous clients, you know, you want to sort of attach logos and things like that. Perhaps we could like keep that as an option. I'm gonna just keep that open. All right, and it can be something that we can add on as a an add-on, sort of like an upsell, where we can charge people more to say, do you want to include previous clients? Okay, so let me note in here, and at the bottom here, let me say upsells. I'm going to call it an upsells, where we will have the standard package where we do, you know, just the basic stuff, because most people, when they build a website, they will have their information about us. All this information is standard, and you can do this even if you don't have an existing business, because it's all fluff. It's all, you know, things like, you know, you can just even get an AI to write it for you, which is exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to get an AI to write all of these sections for us. And so anybody who just gives you a business name and a high level description of what they want to achieve in that business, you should be able to generate this landing page for them, even if they're not even a real business. But if they had been existing for a while, perhaps they've got testimonials and they've got previous clients, we could make that an upsell. So once we sell them the standard template, we could ask them, oh, would you like to include your previous clients? For an extra $10, we can add your previous clients to your landing page. Oh, do you want to add a little bit of testimonials? For another extra $10, we can you know, add a bit of testimonials for you, and then you can like sort of like milk that asset and get more money out of that potential client. And some people will be like, yeah, no, I do have previous clients. Yeah, for an extra $10, let's charge you for that, you know. So I'm gonna call this upsells. In e-commerce, we do that. We call that upsell. It's like that extra feature that you can add on to what you're already selling people. And normally you want to leave this to the end. Once they've already decided something, then you like show them like, hey, actually in this section, you could put your previous clients. Look at how nice it's going to look. Oh, it's just going to cost you an extra $10. Just click this button and add this to your cart. All right, cool. And then they pay that extra $10, and then you upsell them another feature, and then you sort of maximize how much money you're going to make from that. So I'm going to have two upsells here. The first one I'm going to call previous client logos, and then the second upsell I'm going to call testimonials. Okay, all right, and we can charge for testimonial. We can say 3 testimonials $5, 6 testimonials $10, I don't know, something like that. All right, so let's leave that like that. All right, so then now we've got about us. So about us is very simple. You know, you design, you know, like for a business, you would have, I don't know, like the main points that reflect what it is that you do, you know, what you know. So we'll figure out how to get this from the AI, and I'll think about it a bit later. I'm not sure that I've thought about it, or maybe we don't even do about us. We just do this, and then we get straight into our services. Maybe you want to put services over there, because you immediately want to see what your services are and your features, because it's very easy to define the features of a business and the services. So maybe let's remove the about us section, so that immediately when we finish with that, we go into the services. So I'm going to go back into our notes, and I'm going to remove this about us section. Okay, let's remove this. I'm going to remove this about us, and then I'm going to immediately go into our services. Okay, so immediately when somebody is done with immediately when someone is done with the section 1, we're going to have this section 2 is going to be the services. All right, and we can say, we can also upsell this, you know. We can say standard services is 3 services, and then if you want more than that, we could like charge you like $1 per service. I don't know, or maybe let's just standardize it as 3 services for now as a start, and we can think around the upselling later, because this is one of the things you must consider when you're building a website. You want to definitely make it as cheap as possible, and then you want people that want extra to think around, do I want extra? And then you can charge them for extra, as opposed to having a website with like 10 services at a time for everybody, and not everybody needs that, you know. So for now, I will leave as 3 services, and then section 3 will then be after we've done the services. So we're going to take these services and put it here. The reason I want to do that is if we don't have the about us, then we need something to break the contrast between this and that. Otherwise, this and that will look exactly the same. You'll see you've got some sort of title, description, and an image. And here you've got a title, description, and an image, even though the background is slightly different, but it will look too standard, it will look too the same. So because we're removing this section over there, it's better that we then take this one and put it in front, so that we have a bit of a break and have a title with 3 different things. And then after that, then we have this section, which is then again another title, paragraph, and image. So it breaks down the contrast a little bit, you know. That's why I've decided to then move that to the front. So the services come second, and then after that we'll have this little section. The way I've described it, for me it looks exactly the same as section 1. All right, it looks exactly, there's an image there, there's a bit of a you know, a high level you know, landing page title and another description. So in fact, you could just, you know, use the same sort of like guidelines and produce an similar description and title. I mean, title and description there, and an image, and then you've got this section. The only difference is they've got a different background, and maybe the image is not an illustration. Instead, it's just a picture. So we can think around that as well. So that's section 3. Then suddenly section 4 is now these features. All right, so section 4, once you're done with this, you can see after the services you go into the features. And the nice thing about the features is that these are high level features. Okay, so for every feature you have a description of that feature, and I mean, you have a title for that feature and the description. So when we get that information, we'll have like a picture that describes that feature, and then we'll have like a title and a description for that feature. And you can see over here they've got 3 of them, but I'm going to just limit it to 2 for now. All right, I'm going to just have this feature and that feature. And then after that, pricing, we're not going to do pricing for now because we're going to overly simplify this. So we're going to leave the pricing out. And then this is the part where I was saying that for our clients and the testimonials, we can have this as an add-on sort of upsell. So we don't include this in all the websites, because most people that are going to be doing landing pages, maybe not all of them are going to have already testimonials. So this is not going to be a standard feature that everybody will want to have. You know, some people say, no, we don't need testimonials. So let's rather have on the standard feature no testimonials, so that everyone is the same. And then people that want testimonial, we can always have this as an upsell. We can say, okay, if you're not include this, this is extra. I don't know, we're going to make it very, very cheap. That doesn't feel like a lot. But of course, the point is volumes, to sell volumes of this thing. Then the blogs as well, I'm going to leave it for now, but we're not going to do blogs in our landing page, because blogs include a little bit more complexity, and we need a whole server to run a blog. I want to build a landing page that by the time I'm done with it, somebody can just click a button and say download HTML and CSS, or we can just say download HTML and we'll host the CSS for them. We don't give them the CSS. So we could have just a button that says download HTML, and then just click that button and it downloads an HTML file, and they can go and upload this HTML file anywhere they want, and it will just work. You know, so it doesn't have any server functionality. It doesn't have, you know, there's no like logging in, authentication, anything like that that's required in that landing page. The only thing that maybe requires a server or something like that is perhaps a contact form. But what we will do is that we will, the same way we manage the CSS, we can host this form somewhere else. So they can have this form sitting like this. We can have a unique descriptor where if somebody fills in the form on their page, they have somewhere where they can go and see what was filled in. We will, like, you know, the post request will go cross servers, you know, like it will go, you know, it will be something that goes, you know, from this standalone HTML to a server we are hosting, which can be one server we host. So we can host one server that collects all the landing forms for all the clients on our websites, and we just sort of like, like we host the form for them, and they, you know, whoever fills in the form for them, we just like, you know, email them the results of this thing, or maybe somewhere on their dashboard, you know, when we build this website, which is going to be our main website, this one will have a server, and then when people create their profiles on this website, their username, their password, they'll have their own dashboard where they make payments and stuff like that, or whatever. Or even if we don't do that, if they have their own dashboard, then they can have a place where they see all their contact forms in one place if somebody filled in a contact form on their website, something like that. Or we don't even have a login, because I'm trying to get away from authentication completely. I want this to be a simple, you want to generate a landing page, okay, cool, click this, enter your information, There's the landing page, download HTML, boom, it's done. We host the page, we just email you the stuff. If somebody submits a contact form on your page, you just get an email because you would have given us your email, like, oh, you got an email, and we manage it that way. And then we get rid of, you know, any sort of like internal dashboards on our side completely, right? So that's the price I want to get to. I want to build a simple thing as possible, collect money up front, and then we're done with that person, right? So section 4 will be the features, and then section 5 will now be the standard stuff, and then the upsells on section 6. And mind you, if we hand over the HTML to them, they click a button and download the HTML and they're done with it, they would be able to edit it. So we don't have to worry about what if the person wants to make changes in the future. You know, if the person wants to make changes in the future, they can just, you know, make it themselves because they would have the HTML. Unless if we also maybe want to give people the option of us hosting the site for them, you know, we could do that. But we'll cross that bridge later, okay? Let's just start with the most simplest version of this website to get going. So now you will see that we have broken down our little landing page template into different sections, right? And now we can take these sections and build a model around this. So we can have like a data, like a model, like a Django model, because we're doing this thing on Django. So we could have section 1 title, section 1 description, all right, call to action. We could have section 2 service 1, you know what I'm saying? Or we could even have services as a sub model that has relation to this main model, so that you could have as many services as you want. All right. Or you could also then have, you know, features as a sub model to the main model of, you know, of the, now that you're breaking this down, you can start to have a look at it from a Django model's point of view. So you can start building a model around this, and I'll describe to you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to give this as a homework because I want you to go and build it based on the experience of what you have done with me in the past and all the Django projects we've built together. I want you to take an initial stab at building this kind of a model, all right? And I'll tell you exactly how to do it, but I want you to go and do it yourself, because now we're getting into the real learning, is that I can't possibly always show you everything. Some of these things you're going to have to do it yourself. So inside of our website class, from what we built last week, right? If you remember, this is our files. You just keep them open somewhere. You'll have the models file, and you'll see the models file here is currently empty. All right. So I'm going to open here. I'm going to search for Django models, right? And inside of Django models, I'm going to open the Django models documentation. I'm describing to you what you must also do, right? You will see this is typically how you want to build a model, and have a look at the Django models documentation. In addition, I have my Scolo documentation, which under Django, there is the models. I've got the Django models over here, and I've got a little bit more of how I typically build my models, right? And so maybe I'll even copy rather this, because then I make sure I haven't forgotten anything, right? The imports that you need in a model. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to replace this with my typical Django model imports, and then I'm going to have a look at what I've imported here. The from Django DB import models is similar to what you have over there from Django DB import models. That's always needed because this is the most basic thing that you need. HTML field and tiny MCE. I'm not going to use this today. I always use Slugify because I use it for the description, for the detailed pages. And user is almost always needed in a model. But in this specific case, I don't know, let's keep it there. I can delete it if I don't want it. Time zone is almost always needed with me because I have always the last updated, first created, variables that I put in every model just to help me understand, just to help me sort of like classify my models better. So I always use the time zone. UID, I also almost always use it because I use it to create my unique IDs. All right, so I'm going to leave that one there. The settings, not always. Reverse, not always. JSON and OS, I'm going to just leave them there. JSON, I probably don't need. Import JSON, I probably don't need this. Reverse, I'm not going to need this either. Settings, I'm not gonna need this either. If I do need it, I will then import it later. But UUID4, I almost always need it. OS, maybe not. Let's delete that one. So this one I use for the time zone. I use it for when for my last updated parts of the model, because every model that I build, I always want to put the last updated variable in there, because I want to know when somebody made a change to that model, and also when it was created, right? And I want to use time zone for that. So let's leave that one. And then if you go then back a little bit lower, then you have like an example. So I'm just going to copy this in a title, right? I'm going to copy that in the title. So the model, because I want us to build the same thing, right? That is why I'm doing this part, but the rest of it, I will let you do it yourself. So I want us to call this model, website. Okay, so this will be a model of the website, the landing page website, right? And then after this model, there is obviously, I've got my utility variables. So I want you to use the same utility variables, and I'll explain what they are. The utility variables is the unique ID. The unique ID is it's like I know Django creates a unique ID on its own, but it's a number, so every time you create the first instance of the model, it will give you number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 4, number 5, number 6, and that will it will increment it every time, and that will always be unique. But I don't want to work with that. I want to work with my own version of a unique variable. So hence I created this, and this is what I'm going to use UUID for. Okay, then the slug. This slug is really useful for navigation, especially if you don't want to use that unique ID version of Django to get the detailed version of a thing. Then I use the slug to do that, because it's also very SEO friendly, because it will have the title in it. And if I build if I build the slug with the title, then it also helps with the the SEO navigation. There's a lot of reasons why I do it like this, and you can do it like this if you want as well. And then, like I said, I always have a date created and a last updated, and I want it in my own way with the time zone. So I know Django also has a date created automatically, but I want my own. All right, so after I've done that, you need also this the string version of you need to describe this. All right, so this one I will leave it blank. All right, and you can decide yourself how you feel you want to do this, because but to next week when we have this discussion, I will show you what I've done, and you can always change it if you want to. This absolute URL, I'm gonna leave it out, and then I'm gonna just keep the save the overriding of the save method. And you can see the overriding of the save method here. I'll explain to you what we're doing here. Let me just make some space. The overriding of the save method, this is what happens with the date created. The first time, if the date created is none, it will create the date created based on the local time and the time zone, which is what is imported there. And if the unique ID is none as well, it will then create a unique ID based on UUID4. All right, so the slug I'm going to delete from there. And this slug, it will slugify whatever it is you want it to slugify, so I'll leave it blank. And then the last updated gets, every time you save, it gets updated here. So the last updated is always going to be changed every time the save function is run, which is the behavior that we want. And then this model, we decided to call it website, so it must be website here as well. All right, so what I want you to do now, based on what I've shown you here, what is your homework to go think around, is, do we need a title? I don't think we need a title. So instead of title, we're gonna call this data breakup that we've done here. This data breakup that we've done here. You see, when we've taken the whole landing page and we broke it up, we wanna take it now into a model and build it into a model. So the first thing is, and I'll give you an example, section 1 title. Let's maybe call that. Okay, so let's call this section 1 title, right? And then this will be a string of about maximum 200 characters, right? So I want you to do the same for all these other ones. So over here, this will be now a section 1 description. You see, a section 1 description will come in here. So this will be now a section 1 description. Okay, and I don't want it to be a character field. For the section 1 description, I want this to be a section 1 description. I want that to be like a text area. So let's have a look over there. Text field. So this is a character, daytime. Yeah, I want it to be a text field like this one, because it will be a paragraph and not just a sentence. Okay, so this is section 1 title, section 1 description. All right, then as you go down, you get now the call to action. All right, so the call to action, let's put it in there. Call to action for that website will be, we can use the same character field, but I'm sure the call to action will not be as long as 200 characters. Maybe it will be 50 characters. Yeah, maybe it'll be, yeah, long, or maybe let's just make it 100 so that we don't like get errors and stuff like that when we're saving. So I've shown you an example of section 1 title, section 1 description, call to action. Then we go to the next part, section 2. Now section 2 has got 3 different services, and you could do it now in a certain way. You could say section 2 service 1 title, section 2 service 2 title, section 2 service 3 title. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, and I forgot something else. We also have another data point that we are forgetting here. What we call a, there's a title, there's a description, and you'll see over there is an icon. All right, so there is a services icon, because we're going to have to decide what icon to go with a certain service and description, so that we don't show the same icon every single time for all the websites. So this one also needs to vary. Now, instead of doing section 1 service 1 title, section 1 service 1 description, section 1 service 1 icon, and then again section 2 service 2, instead of doing it like that, what is a better way to design this, in my opinion, is to create a whole new model that is called section, website section. So over here, create a whole new model that is called website service. And then for that website service, so if I do this, let me copy that. If I create a whole new model that is called a website service, what I can do is that for that website service, I can then only have a title, a description, and an icon. And then I can have now a related field to a website, so that I know which service belongs to which website. You understand what I'm saying? So that when I now go and want to call the services of a certain website, I can first of all call the website, and then I can then call all the services related to that website. You understand? So have a look at what we've done in the past and figure out how to create a website service which will be a related field, right? Which will have a related field to the website. And there's a lot in the Django documentation that explains it, and I've done this many times in my previous tutorials. This tutorial, I really want you to spend some time going and figuring this out on your own. And then we'll do the same thing for section features. All right, so we'll do the same thing for website features. Okay, so website features will also be exactly the same as website services. We'll have, for features, for example, we'll have a feature title, a feature description, and a feature icon. Okay, so the features also need an icon, which I overlooked earlier on. So if we go over here to where were we in our documentation, so we'll have also a feature icon. Right, so it will have a title, a description, and an icon, and then it will be related to a website. Okay, and then it will have all the normal utility and whatever variables. Okay, so go in your homework and write down all of these models, and then next week when we get back, we will have these models done. All right, now let's continue with something else. All right, so now that we've broken down our website into actual data, now we have taken this. Guys, we're doing now web engineering, guys. We have taken this and we have cut it down into data points and data sections, because we want to be able to model a specific website and specific website information. There's something I forgot here. You're gonna need a website. You need an image there. You need an image there, and then you need an image for the features. Okay, so for the so over here we also need a landing image, which is this image over there. All right, and over here we also need a landing image. All right, and inside of the features, we need a feature icon. We also need a feature image, and this feature image can be an illustration. Okay, and this image here can be a picture, and this image here, okay, no, this one doesn't have an image. This landing image here can be an illustration. So what you'll do over there inside of your whatever, you'll have, after the call to action, you can have something that we call a section 1 image. All right, and remember how to do an image field. All right, so how we do an image field, let's go have a look at our thingy. We do it like you do it like this: models.image field, models.image field, and you have a default and whatever, right? And remember, users are not going to be uploading their own images. We will be creating all the images that we're going to have. So we're going to my idea is we're going to have our own image repository and illustration repository, where we are going to have all the images and all the illustrations that we're going to use on all our landing page websites. And these images and illustrations, we're going to have to either buy them from Envato or somewhere, and make sure that we have the license that allows us to use them multiple, because when you go to Envato Elements, there are different types of licenses. When you download a property, at that time when you download it, you specify the license. But if you want to reuse something, you have to download it every time you reuse it. But you also have to make sure that every time you reuse it, you have what we call the thing active. So you can't download something once and then deactivate your membership and then continue to use the same thing over and over again. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have to maintain your Envato membership and keep track of every time you use an image, so that you can re-download it every time, so that Envato keeps track of every time you have used that property. So that's very, very important. Even if I use the same template twice, I don't just go use it for my saved file. I must re-download it again, and this is going to be a bit tricky, but I'm sure we can get it done. Or otherwise we can go find something like Unsplash, where the licenses are a bit more flexible. You know, there's a website I used to use. I actually forgot that website. I forgot the name now. Pixabay. Let's have a look at Pixabay. Maybe we will use Pixabay for now, because Pixabay doesn't have any limitations as to, you know, you can download something once and you can reuse it over and over again. You know, it's just that they don't have a lot of variety, but maybe this will be sufficient for what we need, okay, for our test website. So I think I will not use Envato content, because with Envato, I think the trick is going to be keeping track of every time I reuse it and making sure that I re-upload it. I re-download it, so that I can keep track with their rules and regulations, because you don't want to break the rules and regulations. But over here, let me just have a look at illustrations, because what I love about they do have quite a bit of illustration, but we're not going to have enough variety of illustrations for the websites that we need. So we might have to go back to Envato for illustrations. But I think as far as pictures go, or maybe we'll use pictures where possible. I just want to have a look here. Yeah, we'll play around with these. Okay, we'll see. We'll play around with between Pixabay and Envato. We'll see. Because over here, for something like this, for example, I definitely want to use an illustration for this section, you know, and Pixabay just doesn't have the type of illustrations I need. But when it comes to things like images like these ones, I can definitely use Envato. you know, I mean, I can use Pixabay, what I'm trying to say. Okay, cool. So this will be an image field, all right, and you can have a default, of course, and see where you are uploading this to. So I'm gonna say I'm uploading this to, I'm gonna have a I wanna call this landing page images. All right, and then there'll be a default in there or something like that. All right, so there'll definitely be an image for this. So I think that's enough. I've given you an example of one section. Now you can go and build the rest of the sections. All right, and build new models. 2 new models we will need: a new model for services and a new model for features that has a related field to the base website model. Okay, so go ahead and do that. In the meantime, the next thing I'm gonna be working on is the OpenAI itself. Okay, so today we're gonna do a little bit of OpenAI, and by now I hope you have an OpenAI membership. All right, so let me leave this open so I can link it in the description. So go there and go to openai.com. okay, I hope by now you do have a paid subscription. And they just released great news. Hey, this weekend, this past week actually, I got an email from OpenAI. They have just like slashed their prices. I don't have the email open right now, I can't show you, but the prices have gone down quite significantly. So where I used to pay, I don't know, $10 or so a month, I think I'm going to be paying less than half of that. Okay, especially if you don't have an actual website you have loaded up that people are using. Okay, so just think around that. So when you go to OpenAI, click on API, and if you come here for the first time, there is log in and sign up. All right, so log in is like if you already have an account, you can just log into it, and if you don't have an account, you can just sign up. And nowadays you can just sign up and start using your account, and you get free credits to get started. So if you come here for the first time, just click the sign up button and sign up. I already have an account, so I'm going to click the login button and I'm going to log in. And again, the prices have gone down significantly. I think it's less than half of what they used to charge. I mean, it's like by orders of magnitude, right? It's gone down significantly. So I'm just going to log into my account over there, and I'm going to continue there. And once you're logged in, I think, I don't know if there's yeah, there you go. We're making API more affordable by reducing the prices. So if you click learn more here, maybe you can see what the price reduction looks like now. Yeah, there was a page that showed the different the changes, because I think, oh, this is the old pricing and this is the new pricing. You see, so this will be from 1st of September. So it's going to be from, it's not 1st of September yet. We're still in. So the day today that I'm recording this on is 28th of August. And the model that I use the most is DaVinci. Okay, so DaVinci model, this is the new pricing. DaVinci model used to be 0.06 per 1,000 tokens. And now it's 0.02. You can see it's orders of magnitude. It's not even half. It's less than half. All right, from 0.06, it's a third of what it used to be before, right? From 0.06 to 0.02. That's quite a significant reduction, and I have to applaud them for this, because it's going to make us more likely to use this in production, because and then we can charge our clients even less as well. But this is only, by the way, from, and this is for 1,000 tokens, okay, from the 1st of September. All right, from the 1st of September, the prices are going down. So this is great news. I'm very excited about this. Now, Playground is where we start most of our projects, because we have to like play around. So what I want to achieve here is very simple. I want someone to come in here, and I want to be able to generate all of this content at the same time, all of it. And I want to ask very specific questions to the person, you know, and so that I can get more information to use, you know. So obviously, if you're running your own business, you'll know what your company name is. So I want to say, what's your company name? What does your company do? All right. And what are the services that you offer? List me 3 services that you offer. Something like that. List me 2 features that you offer. All right. Or maybe you don't even list me the features. I can generate those features by AI, because I don't want to ask too many questions. I want to ask the most important questions, all right? So that it's as simple as possible. So the very first question that you want to ask somebody, which obviously, because you want to know what type of website you're building, is what is your business name and what does your business do? All right, so I'm going to go back here and say the questions that we ask, because obviously this is important for the profile, so I put that as a basic. All right, so I want to ask, what is your business name? What does your business do? What is your business name? So somebody here might say their business name is, let me say they said their business name is Coco. I'm just making an example. What does your business do? And then here you also want to lead them, because you want them to answer in a very standardized manner. And you know how AI works. If somebody says, we provide these services, someone says, no, we cut hair, I don't know, so we want to be very specific as to how, what exactly you do. All right, so I'm gonna pick an example, and I say we are a web design agency. Okay, so maybe here somebody will say, we design websites for clients. Okay, these two statements are definitely enough to create the first part. So if you look at our OpenAI over here, all right, I want to know, okay, first of all, let's increase this to 500. I want to design the prompts to generate all of this content, from the information we've received from the client. And if we need more information, let's figure it out now. Okay, so the first section, which is this one over here, I want the thing to generate me this title and this description. Okay, and by the way, it can generate that. You might have to have two prompts. Okay, so I'm gonna say generate a website landing page title for the following business. So I'm going to say landing page. So I'm going to say business name, landing page title, and description. Let me see if I can do it like that. Name, business, what the business does. All right. So the business name over here is, we said it's Coco. And then what the business does is, we said we design a website for clients. The business does, we design websites. We design websites for clients. Okay. Boom. Full stop. Let's see what it builds. So let me say title and leave the description away. So now we want to give it a bit more. We want to give it even more, more direction. Like you want to limit it, or you want to, the thing with OpenAI is the more description you give it, the more likely it will give you exactly what you want. All right. So if I look at my landing page, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to have maximum 6 words, because I don't want it to be longer than 6 words, because there's no space for that. So I'm going to say generate, okay, a 6-word website landing page title. Okay, what the business does, design websites. They design websites for clients. So here it's taking it that I needed 6 different variations of this, and that's not what I wanted. Generate a 6-word. Okay, generate a website landing page title, only 6 words in the title. Only 6 words in the title. Okay, and I'm gonna take the business name out, because I think we don't always see the business name in the landing page title. All right, so I'm gonna take the business name out, even though I've been given the business name. Maybe I don't need it in the title. All right, there you go. That looks much better. So just like that, I've redesigned my prompt. You understand? I've redesigned my prompt. And now, every time you design a good prompt, you want to copy it exactly as it is, because you know this is a prompt that works. All right, so we're gonna go back to our thing. I'm gonna remove this, or maybe highlight it out. Okay. I'm gonna call this section title. Section 1 title, unique ID, format, you need to have self there. I just want to have something here so this doesn't error out if I have to run this function or something, which I'm not going to do for now, but I might forget it later. So if you look at your website, at your files that we did last week, all right, so remember I've given you this homework, so you'll complete this. But if you open that folder for the app, right, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this file I'm gonna call this AI generator. I'm gonna call it AI generator.py, and inside of this AI generator.py, I just want to have a look at, you need to obviously, before you can use OpenAI, let's just go in here and have a look at the documentation. Let's just have a look at the documentation. Actually, let me not open a new page. Let me rather open this in a new tab, because I just want to make sure that you've loaded and installed all the right things. Dish. Where is I don't know. Let me just click on anything. Python. I see Python there. To natural language. Yeah, there you go. So this is what I want. This first sections, you need to import OS, you need to import OpenAI, and then you need the OpenAI key, and this OpenAI key maybe is going to be saved inside of your settings file. So if it's saved inside of your settings file, you just need to you know, import the settings there, right? And then it's going to be settings dot whatever you called your OpenAI file. Okay, what this means is that let me actually just call it the same thing that it's called over here, OpenAI key. So let me call this an OpenAI key, which means inside of your inside of your settings.py file over here, all right, somewhere in here, maybe in there, you're gonna have your OpenAI key. All right, I don't know what it is. You're gonna save it in here, right? And the way where you get your OpenAI key is if you go over there and you go to your personal. Okay, actually just open personal there, view API keys like that. You can just copy the key, copy it, and then you can go and you can paste it in there. All right, I'm not going to paste it for now because I don't want to paste it here on camera, but you can just go and paste your API key there. So once you've pasted your API key there, then you're good to go. All right, so here of OpenAI generator, you'll be able to then you need to install OpenAI to be able to run this. But now, for now, I'm not on the VPS, and today I might not touch the VPS at all. So I'll do this when we get onto the VPS later on. So what's important for you to do now is I want to get the prompts right. I want to get all the prompts right for this. So if you're happy with what this generates, make sure there are no spaces left. Go into view code and make sure you select Python. Oh, it does have everything in there anyway. And then what you want is just this section, because I didn't realize. So let's just copy the whole thing anyway and paste it. Okay, so we don't need all of this. So now you've got this prompt: generate a landing page title, only 5 words in the title, for the following business, what the business does, and this is design websites for clients. All right, and then I'm gonna write this the Python way. If you worked with me in the past, you'd remember this. I'm gonna create a function for this, and then I'm gonna say return. Let's go back to our model. Return section 1 a title. All right, I'm gonna say return section 1 title, like that. All right, and I'm gonna make this a big S so that it's camel case writing. And then return section 1 title, and what I'm gonna enter in there is what do we call it, business. So let's give these variables a name. So this variable over here, what is your business name? Let's call this variable business name. What does your business do? Let's call this variable business do. It's fine. So then this variable over here, business do, is a variable that's gonna go in there. All right, and then after that we're gonna return this response. All right, and then paste that in there, and then this business do, all right, is what goes in here. What does your business do? What the business does over here. So we can replace that variable in here and format business do. Do you see what I'm doing here? So I've now rewritten this function to be a generic function that will always generate a 5-word title for a landing page based on what the business does. So the key is to design your prompts and then get your prompts in Python code and have them in such a way that they are reusable prompts for whatever it is the person enters in there. Okay, so now we've got this first section over here. We've got this section title. Now we need the landing page description. Okay, so let's rewrite this prompt here. Generate a business landing page description. Okay, maybe you want to give it words. Okay, this must be how many words are in here? I don't know if that will work, by the way. I'm gonna just try this. Okay, let me see, let me clear here and let me just open up Python. I just want to count this length of words in here. This is about 140 words. Okay, so generate a landing page description, and we're not going to limit it of between 140 words to 160 words, because you want to tell it now how long you want that description to be. Okay, generate a website landing page description for the following business. This time we might want the business name. Okay, so we've got a business name and then what the business does. All right, and we want to generate a description of between 140 to 160 words, and let's see how that will work. Perfect. Skoko is a web design company that specializes in creative, beautiful, responsive website for its clients. No matter what your business is, Skoko can help you reach your one goal and create a site that represents your brand well. Okay, with a team of experienced designers, Coco will work with you to create a website that looks great and functions perfectly. So I want to see if this is between 100 and if this actually followed my instruction over here. What is the length of this? I think this is way too long. This 364 words, it didn't follow my instructions. I wanted between, okay, generate a website landing page description of between 140 words to 160 words, okay? Of between 140 words to 160 words for the following business. Okay, I really want it to see if I can't get it to the words that I want. This is still way too long. This is still way too long. If you guys know how to limit this, 386 even longer than the last one. Generate a website landing page of between 140 to 160 words. Of between. Okay, let's do it like this. Description for the following business. Description length should be between 140 to 160 words. Content length. Okay, let's try this again. So sometimes it's just how you design your prompts, and you have to play around with this and play around with your prompts and see what's possible and what's not possible, but more importantly, what's consistent. Because when we do this kind of things that we're going to automate, we need consistency. We don't want it to produce 10 words today and 500 words tomorrow on different people, because then your website generator is going to be wonky. You want your website generator to be, you know, within a certain limit as possible, because when it comes to website design, one of the most important things is length of words. You don't want a 300 word description here that's gonna go out of space, the available space. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then over here, you don't want this to be longer than that and to be shorter than that. You want it to almost be consistent in what it produces every single time. So if you can limit the words as much as possible, let's try to do that. All right, and I don't know why OpenAI is not allowing me to limit the words exactly the way I want it. Okay, because this is definitely more than 140 words. All right. Why is this? What's wrong with this? Length of this. What are we doing here? The length of this. I want to copy this. I want to know the length of these words. Oh, what is wrong with this? Okay. Length of this. Because of there's a comma there, right? All right, that's fine. That was the problem. Awesome. So if I then cut this and paste it there, 301. No, this is not. Content length. Generate. Maybe let's just give it 150 words. Generate a website landing page description of. Generate a 150 words website. Generate 150 words website landing description for the landing. Okay, let's try this. Instead of giving it between. Oh, come on. 150 words. Okay, so what if we make a maximum more 200 here? Okay, and let's right. So how many words are this? Okay, let's make this 180. All right. Maximum length. All right. Let's run that. This is definitely more than 200. So I don't understand why this is not doing what it needs to do. Length. So maybe you guys go around and play with this for a while. Okay. Oh, goodness. Length. Take this out. Yeah. Cut this. 358. It just won't generate a short. So this maximum length here doesn't affect anything, right? Doesn't matter that I make this 500 or I make it 200, it still gives me 300 words. That makes no sense. Generate a short 200 words website landing page description for the following business. Okay. Yo, no, it refuses. This is too long. This is too long, and clearly this has no effect on it. So I'm gonna play around with this a bit. Maximum words 200 words. Let's try that. Still not working exactly what we wanted. Maybe this is a website landing page paragraph. Of 160 words. Nope. Generate a website landing page paragraph. 60 words for the following business. Let's try that. Max 200 words. All right, I'm gonna try and research this because I am not happy with it. Otherwise, what we could do is, there's another way around this. There's another way around it, because it looks like no matter what I do, this, so I'm actually gonna remove landing page description. I'm gonna take it back to description. All right, and then I'm gonna do that anyway, and then it's gonna give me 300 words. All right, and then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna have another, and I'm gonna say summarize to 160 words. Okay, and then I put this in here. So maybe we need to do this in 2 sentences. So summarize to 160 words and see what it returns. No. This is, you can't summarize 160 words and give me longer. Summarize to 100 words. Summarize right? Let's say 150. Okay. Submit. Nope, not working. All right. So summarizing doesn't work. Let's think about this some more. Okay, let's run this. I'm thinking we're going to have to do some more engineering here, because each and every sentence, if you look at this sentence over here, all right, let's just look at the length of the sentence. All right, so we can use length here. 180. The first sentence, if we can break this down into sentences, right, and then only include the sentences less than 200 words. So if you want to break down whatever you're given into sentences, you can split the string on the full stop and then count the number of words in here. And then if it's less than 180, for example, you include the next sentence and so forth. You understand what I mean? So this is it's gonna take a bit more engineering over here, but it doesn't matter. So let's just take this back. All right. And then let's view the code for this. All right. So let's write this. Let's call this def return section 1. Section 1, instead of the title, is going to return the section 1 description. And then it will have the business name and the business due. So if we have a look at what we call this over here, it will have the business name and the business due. So it will take the business name and the business due, right? And then the response will be, where are we? Just remember to include the closing, thing at the end. That. Right. So cool. So this is the business name. All right. And this is the business due. Okay, so we're gonna go in there and say format business name and business due. Right. So now we can run these two different functions simultaneously, one after the next. And the first one, when it gives us a business title, we can use that business title. The second one, when it gives us the business name and the business due, this response, we're going to split it into the paragraphs, and we're going to just limit up to the first 200 or whatever characters, so that we don't get like a whole 300. If it's 300, we're going to split it by the commas and take only the sentences that fit the sort of the length that we want, because we need to limit the length. So we're going to have to do it mechanically, and we're going to have to hope that the remaining two sentences don't feel like they're missing anything. All right, so I think that's what we'll end up doing, but this is going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm feeling like maybe let's stop this video here today, or should we yeah, let's build this. Let's just build this initial form that at least takes the information that we need. We don't have the model yet. I'll let you guys do this model in your homework, but I think otherwise maybe there's not enough content for today. I'm gonna run this so I'm gonna pause the video here. So what I need you to do is to you know what you do, like the git push this to the to the, what do we call, push this to the virtual private server, and let's try and see if we can run these functions manually from the server, and and continue building from there. Okay, So I've pushed all the changes to my virtual server. If you remember, I'm working my code from the virtual server. I have initiated the virtual environment. One thing I wanted to remind you, if you've worked with the previous tutorial we've done on OpenAI, is there's just a bit of extra code you can add at the end to pass your response to make sure that you get just the answer from OpenAI printed out, not everything else, you know. So if you run it up to here, you need to return something, right? And you need to, you can either return the response, but if you return the response is going to be some long paragraph with a lot of things. So in the past, we've learned you can pass the response so that it returns, like you look for choices in the response, and then and I'll show you how this works, okay? So for example, you know, go and run this and delete this, right? And return only the response. Like then right over here, return response, and see what it returns and print out what it returns. You will see that it's a couple of things, including your actual paragraph that you want in that whole response. So if you pass it properly, you only want, if there's choices in there, you want the text inside of the choices, and you want to return that. All right. So over here, you actually need to say return res. You want to return basically this, right? Which means you can also just delete that and return that, and then remove that, which also is the same thing here. So I can just copy all of this in here and I can paste it in there. So for you not to get lost, pause the video here quickly. Just have a look at what I'm writing in here. What we're doing is, this response is a long JSON object that includes a lot of things you don't need, right? But sometimes OpenAI can return a blank answer, like the choices will be like 0 in there. So what I've done, and from previous experiences of passing the answer so that I only return the one paragraph that I want as the answer, is that you can search for choices inside of this response. If there's no choices in there, you must know it didn't return anything. And if you find choices inside of that JSON object, then you want the first choice, which is a 0 choice, because if you look at our prompt over here, we almost always ask for just the best of one, okay? So we want the first one that gets answered, and then we want the text in there because there will be other things included in there. So we want the first choice and the text in there to be returned. So that's what this does. It's very simple. You can play around with this to see exactly how I ended up with this, but you can look at my previous tutorials where I explained exactly how I ended up passing this specific response. But if you're not sure, just like pause this video here, copy and paste what I've got here, all right? And then make sure that you keep track of the indents, okay? So this must be indent of 4 spaces, must be the same indent as what's that response, the same as the else, otherwise you're going to have some errors. And then I'm going to push this again, push the changes, and then push to the git, and then I have to enter my password. And then once I've done that, I'm over here. I can clear this. Make sure that you're running in the virtual environment. All right. We need to install OpenAI because I don't think we've installed it. So this is very simple. You just do pip install OpenAI. It just installs it inside of your virtual environment, and then run that. It will collect it and install it. Once you've done that, I want to run these functions inside of the shell because I don't have like a form or anything to collect input for now, okay? So I'm going to just say, I'm going to run this inside of Django shell, and to do that, you can say python manage.py shell. So it runs like a Python shell inside of the Django environment or the Django context so that you can access all the Django stuff, all right? So once you've done that, I want to go and I want to run this function, which is inside of the AI generator.py file, and this file is inside of the website sort of, you know, app. So what I can do is that I can say from website dot AI generator. This is the name of the file, this is the name of the folder. Okay, then I can say import everything in there. So I can say import star, and it will import all the functions now into here where I can run them from here. So this is the function I want to run, return business title. Okay, but I'm going to give myself, what does my business do? Okay, so business do, I'm going to define business do as a, what does my business do? Let's think about it. We let's say we are a health, we are like doctors. Okay, so let's say we are doctors. Let's say we are doctors. So I can say we are medical practitioner. I'm a medical practitioner. All right. And then now I've got the business do. I want to run this return business one title. So if I was a medical practitioner and I wanted to do a website and I wanted to generate a website title with me being a business practitioner, what would the AI give me? Find a medical practitioner near you. Doesn't that work well? And then, so let's say then it gave me this title, find a medical practitioner near you. Let's try and now see how we would get the, let's do the business name. Let's enter a business name. Business name, let's give it, let's continue with Skoko. We are Skoko doctors, right? And then let's now return a business description. A business description with that business name and that business do. Medical practitioners who sees patients of all ages from newborns to the elderly. And you can see here a medical practitioner. Okay, so the website, the way it would have looked like medical practitioners near you. So when we now put this inside of the actual, template, let's see, over here, it would have said medical practitioners near you. And then over here, it would say, medical practitioners who sees patients of all ages from newborns to the elderly. All right. So let's run this again and see what else it will return if I do it twice, because this is a bit short. This time is a bit longer. If you're looking for a medical practitioner who can provide you with the care and attention that you need, look no further than Skoka. All right, our team of professionals are dedicated to providing you with the best possible care and will ensure that you're getting the treatment that you need. Contact us today and learn more about what we can do for you. So this obviously is a bit long. This is where I said I would cut it off maybe at the first, let me see how long this would be. No. All right, let's see, length, paste, yes. Syntax. Okay, let's put the length over here and do it from there, length. Right, if you're looking, let's go and see how long this would be. 131. It's a bit shorter, but it's better. So maybe you could cut it off. If you're looking for a medical practitioner can provide you with the care and attention that you need, look further than a Skok or whatever. So I think we're getting slowly there. So you see what we're going to do. Now you can start to see in your head how we're going to put all of this together. So we now have the prompt to collect the data, to input whatever the person enters and output a title and a description. All right, so what we'll do is that now we can do that twice. So over here and over here, we know we already have, that. So what I want you to do now as your homework now that you've seen what I've done over here, because I've demonstrated to you what I'm going to do, I don't have to show everything on camera, and I won't show it on camera. I'm going to do it off camera, and then I'll just show you what I've done. But this will give you time. It will probably be 2 weeks until I do another video again, but that gives you enough time for you to go do the homework that I'm giving you. The first homework is go and finish this model with all the elements that are required inside of the model based on what I've explained to you here. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll make these notes available to you. Okay, I'll put the link of this note this time in the description. Okay, but I'm not gonna keep this note link forever. I'm gonna keep it here for just, you know, 1 week or 2 weeks, because these notes they're not good for my website. I get a lot of traffic from YouTube on my website, and then when YouTube sees me getting a lot of traffic, I mean, when Google sees me getting a lot of traffic from YouTube, it assumes that I'm popular, and then it limits my actual traffic from normal people. The algorithm is very funny. It's like it limits you to 200 views a week. And if those 200 views come from YouTube, then it doesn't give me other views from search engines, which is ridiculous. So I've limited my YouTube views because of that. But what I'll do is that just for you guys, for 1 week only, I'll make these notes available. So for the guys who manage to watch this video this week, and you do the homework this week, you'll find this video, this link in the description below, and you'll be able to go and read through this link. But if you watch this video after 2 weeks, I will have removed this link from the description, and you won't find the link to this, and you're just going to have to use your memory and generate this content yourself, because I don't want to keep this link too long on my website, because it damages my traffic. It sort of I get too much YouTube traffic that it starts to limit my actual traffic to Skoko, because I want actual users, not the YouTube users. But anyway, that is a bit much. So the first part of the homework is finish up this website model, right? Once you're done with that, the next part of the homework is start to build up these functions. So I've already shown you how to do the title, and I've already shown you how to do the description. Okay, so I want you to think about it yourself in your own mind, how to do the other prompts to generate the other parts of the website. So the next part of the website that you want to generate, obviously you've done the title and the description. We're not going to use the AI to generate an image. Obviously AI can't generate an image. We're going to have to find an image another way. So skip that. And the call to action, we're also not going to do that. But what we're going to do now is the services titles and description. So think about how to get the 3 services titles. So maybe it can be something like please generate me 3 services and 3 services description. Think about how to do that. Think about how this section is actually exactly the same as that section, so there's nothing to think around there. We're going to use the same function for this section. And then the features, think about how to generate the features for the content for the features. You know, how are we going to do that? Are we going to ask the person to tell us a little thing, something about your business, or we can get the AI to already know what the features should look like? And then that's it. So the only thing that you have to do homework on is the features and the services. That's it. So by next week, I need like maybe 2 more functions for feature titles and feature descriptions. Or for the whole, maybe there'll be 3 features it generates at a time. And then for each feature, you give me a description. You think about how you're going to do that. Once we've done that, we've got the features and we've got the, the services. We're going to now put all of this together inside of a form so that people can actually like come in on our landing page and enter their name, surname, and then enter just their website title or whatever, and then we go generate this content for them. All right, and then we put the content inside of this template and then we show it to them, so that's what we're going to try and do next week. But that's quite a bit of work, so I won't even try to cover it today. So I'm going to end this video here, and thank you guys for watching. Go do your homework, because I think this video this time around, I want you guys to really code with me as I code, because what I learn a lot is people watch this video and they just want to go somewhere where I've put all the code where they can just copy and paste. But the whole point here is to teach you guys. So this time I'm going to do something different, where I don't even show everything on camera, but I show you a bit of something on camera and I ask you to go do the rest. And the next week I won't even show everything. I will just continue with assuming you've done your homework, but I will show you enough that you can make corrections if you didn't catch everything, and then we'll continue from there. All right, so see you guys next week.